Need to give me a really tall chair. This be making my mind. All right. Let's see. Let me get my things right. Make sure everybody know we live. Okay. 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 All right. Let me see. Let me get these banners right. Should take me 3 minutes. All right. 2 L's, not one. Had to get it right. All right. That there. Easy. That banner. What's cracking, everybody? What's cracking? What's cracking? Come on in. Come on in. Y'all know the routine. Tell me what you're drinking before you tell me what you're thinking. You know, I know it's been a while, man, but we back. We back. Let's see. Let's say we back like I haven't been posting shorts all every week. Y'all working me like a record label artist. Let me see. I need a production team behind me. All right, we got some comments generating. Who up in here? Man, what's happening, study? What's happening, Marquez? What y'all sipping on, man? Y'all already know what's going on tonight. I got some rum going on tonight, straight from Panama, actually. Some really good rum going. If y'all see me with these yeah, ain't no hair. You gonna see me with these headphones. It's not a hearing aid. It's a it's actually my gym headphones. So my gym headphones. So I know I froze a little bit. You know. All right. What's cracking? You say you ain't drinking nothing. Come on, man. Come on, man. What we got? We got some Pepsi Zero in the house. Okay. Somebody look counting their calories. I ain't mad at that. Count them cows. I've been counting my calories too. This is my treat drink. Yeah, I know this my birthday week. All right. So I'm kind of showing out a little week. I got my little boy haircut, you know. All right, let me hurry get the rest of this done. All right, got a few more items to add. Let us know where you checking in from, what city, state, country you checking in from. And most importantly, let us know what you're sipping on. Because it's tech at night, baby. We all off work, this grown folks hours. And y'all know how I like to do entertainment along with the education, you know. And more tipsy I get, the more I tell. Hey, I'm playing. I made that up on the spot, by the way. To do. All right. And then let me get my tech news going. Yeah, that should be good. Two more items, then we rocking and rolling. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel too, please. That's the only way this, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's the only way I get really motivated is when y'all subscribe, to be honest with y'all. Keep up with all the updates and all the stuff I'm doing. Because I ain't doing nothing but create more resources for y'all. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. All right. And then one more banner. Okay. Here we go. One more banner. Banner. Should be cool. Okay. Who else we got up in here? We got some coffee going. Okay, you plan on staying up all night. All night. All night. Now I gotta miss the, I got one last thing before we get this cracking is put the icing on the cake. And that's lighting the cigar. Part of this, by the way, part of this 1965, I believe. 1845, excuse me. One of my favorites, by the way. Mm. Okay, we on. Man, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. Another trot around this blue circle, man. Another trot around this blue circle. Blessings, blessings. Pisces, that's what they say. That's what they say. Oh, we got some folks out of DC. Ooh, a lot happening up in DC. I hope your home ain't for sale. All right, I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate that Delta. If you now, hopefully you work for Delta, you can give me a buddy pass. That's what I'm talking about. Living a good life in Colombia. I thought you was gonna say Columbia. That's Columbia, South Carolina. The country, Columbia. You tricked me. All right, we're gonna get this cracking anyway. So, so let me go back to my banner. My banner. Yes, sir. Okay, we got the banner going. Breakthrough cool. Y'all know what time it is. All right. Tell me what you're drinking before you tell me what you're thinking. So, essentially, we got a special guest tonight, a special treat tonight. She's actually one of my favorite persons. All right, definitely, easily. She might be my most favorite mentee. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite mentee I ever worked with. One of my favorite best students I've ever worked with. And the thing about this young lady is she's the pretty girl and all that, and she's really smart, but she's a dog. She got a lot of fight in her. She's a real dog. Like she has a lot of grit. She has those qualities that you can't teach. I think every mentor always seeks out mentees that have those social qualities, those social skills that you just can't teach. You have to develop those on your own, and she's full of those. And those social skills are just being ambitious, just being persistent. That's somebody that you don't have to tell when to do something. When you come to a mentor, what makes our job and position a lot easier is when we can just tell you what to do, and then we don't have to motivate you to do it. You know, you're already self-motivated and ambitious to go and do it. And this young lady exemplifies that to the core. She was actually one of the first students I worked with. And man, she wrote it out, and I always told her. It's especially, and it's funny because I was reading a tweet today. Somebody was like, a cybersecurity guy I follow. He was like, basically, he was speaking towards people's lack of attitude when it comes to making a migration to a tech career. He's like, I can tell. The hashtag was N NGMI, not gonna make it, right? And that's usually because people's attitudes are usually poor. Poor in the sense of lack a lot of confidence and lack motivation and lack even the professional skills, how to be on time, how to show up for calls, how to respond to emails adequately, how to speak well, etc. So, but anyway, I want to introduce y'all to, the one and only. Um, this lady is a one of one. Again, like I know she's going to go extremely far in her career because she has everything else it takes. All she had to do was acquire the technical skills, and then all she had to do was just be prepared for her opportunity. And when her opportunities came, she was knocking them down, and even faced some no's along the way. But she didn't let that stop her. That's that persistence I was talking about. But I'm not gonna spoil it all. We're gonna get right into it. We gotta make sure she gets her swim training for her kid. So we're gonna rock tonight. She probably ain't drinking. That's probably why she ain't drinking tonight. But hopefully we get her to sip something. We're gonna see. All right, I want to introduce and bring y'all to the stage, the one and only Miss Henry, Armilla Henry. Did I say Armilla right? Because I'm always calling you
It's
by
Ar-
your name.
I know you always point with my last name. Yeah, it's Armella.
I was trying to, keep it professional and everything, respect folks, their values and stuff. You know. So how are you doing this evening, Miss Henry?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on that good intro.
It was fine. The blessing is all mine. You showed up for us. Um, so first off, we just want to make sure. I know I checked with you already, but I just want to double check. You didn't get caught up in any of the crazy fires, or anything out there, right? I know you probably got some
Nope.
family that's affected, but you didn't get caught up personally.
Nope. I'm in Northern California, so we're all good up here.
Look, look, Californians hate. They hate when you. So it's just the same thing with Atlanta. You associate every part of California with where they are. They're like, look, no, we're like 400 miles away from Berkeley and Southern LA is not in the same place.
Right. It's not a
Okay.
30-minute drive. It's like 6 hours away.
Oh, I hear that in her voice, boy. She been working hard today. Oh, you been on the calls all day. I hear it. I get you. Listen, we're gonna get you in and out, but we're gonna have a good time. All right. So if you would please just briefly tell the folks about yourself before we hop on in it. Who
Mm-hmm.
you are, what you
Um,
do, where you from.
yeah, for sure. Born and raised in California. Been in Northern California since 2012. I have a sore throat because I'm getting over a cold. So I haven't really talked to anyone
So,
today. Um, I do work in cybersecurity. I'm an incident response analyst for a healthcare
mm,
company that's based out of
mm.
Missouri. So, yeah, I've been in
Can
there
you
for 6 months. So
can
six
you
months I've been
believe
in
that
my
we
role.
saying that out loud? Can you believe that?
No, because I think we've been
If y'all
working
know,
together for a couple of years now.
man, listen. If y'all know what we've been through together,
Mhm.
you would have just as much as much awe as I have in my spirit right now, listening to you and seeing you shine. So before I don't want to spoil it off for everybody because you got a great story and you got a lot to say and you have a lot to teach. So I want to get into your origin story, all right? Because
Mhm.
it's even a lot that I don't know about you, prior to where I met you at. So prior to, us interacting with each other, meeting each other, kind of tell folks what was your background like as far as your origin story and how you grew up, where you from, and what was your first career before migrating into tech, and then tell it all the way to where you led up to meeting me, which I can't say
Yeah.
if it's a good or bad thing, but go ahead.
I try to keep it short because you call me young lady, but I am 40 years old. So
Oh,
there's a
wow,
lot of there's a
man.
lot of origin there. Yeah, so
Sheesh. You're still young. When you get 60, you can be like, dang, I was young at 40.
for sure. Yeah. Uh, like I said, born and raised Southern California. I moved up here 2012. I have my bachelor's in psychology, general education for associates, and then I have my master's in business administration. I
Hold
will
on, I didn't know
say,
you had a I didn't know
you
you
know, I
had
have
a
a
BA in
master's,
psychology.
a BA,
Nah.
yeah. Yeah,
My God,
yeah.
that's why your social skills are on point. Okay, it's coming together now. It's making sense. But go ahead.
But I am an introvert, so doing this
Mm,
feels very extrovert-like to me. But
first
here we
off,
are
that
stepping
is
out of our
funny.
comfort zones this year.
That is funny that you said that. I would never strike you for being an introvert. Never.
Yeah, I'm in the
Okay.
house, so, or in the garden, in the front yard, backyard, mowing. Yeah.
You do a lot. You do a lot.
Instacart, DoorDash. You don't need to see me at the store. I'm not leaving the house.
Oh my God, not Instacart. Oh, that's like that's an introvert's dream app is Instacart when that dropped.
It's
Oh my
lovely.
God.
Yeah. I hope the plans get canceled. I'm fine.
So, so what made you go into in psychology? Like, what was that whole route about? Like getting into psychology and then going into business. What was your plans, and how did they end up panning out?
Yeah. So obviously, I work in tech, neither of which is psychology or MBA directly related. So that's how that worked out. But no, seriously, I think just like a lot of people getting into psychology because you want to be able to help people, listen to people's problems and help them problem solve on their own. So that's kind of where the psych background came from. But with MBA, I was actually looking into marketing of all things as an introvert, right? Um,
Mhm.
but still, just kind of even with that, knowing that marketing takes so much of that background research work. is really where I like to hone in on. So that is what kind of piqued my interest in getting my MBA, specifically for marketing, being that
Mm.
person that you don't see in the shadows but makes the great commercials or whatever it is. So yeah, that's that. And then, man, I feel like a lot of years went by because I got my MBA in 2014. So it's
Mm.
definitely been quite a journey. But
Wow.
first first jobs that I had working alongside my dad, he had a carpet cleaning business, had a couple of contracts. So I was driving there as like a 16-year-old and doing custodial work for a few years.
So
So
that's
that's
where all your handy skills come from.
yeah. Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy. And listen, because you come across as a girly girl, like a girl's girl, but you would never, I would never guess that you were
That I'm
so
out there
hands-on
mowing the
like that with it
yard
and
and
crafty.
mhm, yeah,
Oh my
I love
God.
it. So that's kind of where I started. And then I've been in healthcare though for as long as I can remember, doing more admin assistant type of work. And then here
Mm,
most recently with the current company I'm at, I've actually been here for 3.5 years now. But I was
mm,
formerly working in the autism care demonstration department, which
mm,
actually God Divine was perfect for me, because my son is actually on the spectrum. So I think that
mm.
he articulated that, and set up that I would be prepared, really. So it was a blessing. And then got the role that I have
Absolutely.
now, but same company. Mhm.
So you like it's like because we do have a lot of followers and folks, especially in our community, with kids that have special needs,
Mhm.
and it's speaking to a testament that though you have a special needs child, it doesn't have to deter you from being able to multitask and acquire the type of career or migrate careers if you desire. um we even talk about a little bit about like what were some of the challenges there, because I know a lot of moms particularly and even fathers want to kind of see how you balance the two worlds, because that usually requires dealing with special needs child requires it's a job on its own.
Mhm.
So how did you kind of balance those two?
Number one, I will say that the support has been there between myself and his dad. We just really come together as a unit to make sure that he's always supported. So that's super important. And then his older siblings, because he is the youngest. So his closest sibling is actually like uh, 10 years older than he is. So kind of having the built in babysitter is definitely helpful as well. But just kind of going through those initial steps of even getting the diagnosis. I know
Mm,
that some people kind of shy away from that, but for me, I felt like
uh-huh.
it was something that was pretty important just to make sure that even though the world may be set up for more typical learners, that my son is deserving of having that personalized experience just so that he can always reach his greatest potential. So that's why,
Absolutely.
like, it's something I wouldn't shy away from. I know that some parents do because they don't want that label, which is completely
Hmm.
understandable. But I definitely wanted to make sure, like I said, that he was just being considered in a world that's more set up for typical children, but for him to be able to thrive and be considered in the best way that he learned. So yeah, I mean, he's thriving, he's doing well, he's in his
Mm,
therapies, and yeah, it's been amazing to see him grow over the last 3 years. So,
mm.
you just take it one moment at a time, one day at a time, honestly, and give the praise and the prayer where it's due, for being able to get through that. But it's
I want
great.
to. I want to ask you this: how do you think your kids watching you study at late at night, figuring this out, get frustrated, have terrible days, dreadful days, doubtful days, excited days, great days, and then finally breaking through over? How do you think your kids, what do you think they gained from you watching you go through this journey so far?
I would say the resilience and the motivation to continue. I
Mm,
It's very cliche, but they do watch what you do more than what you say. And I think that that
mm,
maybe just comes from making sure that what you do say aligns with your actions in life. And
mm,
so being able to stand on that, and I think that that's what my kids see is that resilience and whatever mom's why is, I mean, that just that motivates her. She keeps going, even when it is challenging and hard, because that's how life is going to hit you sometimes. But you don't just lay down in that moment. You're just like, okay, if I can look up, then I can get up, and that's what I'm going to do, and just keep on going. So,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I say it because, I grew up with just my mom. And one of the things that, like, I have a very high work ethic motor, work, 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 bust my butt. And I always dwell on the fact that that came from just watching my mom, you know, watching my
yeah.
mom hustle and make ends meet and everything. I mean, I know it wasn't an idea, family dynamic or situation. However, I had to take especially in therapy, I had to take the fruits from that to attribute to continuously building on my character. And just like you said, like watching your mom get up early in the morning, stay late at night, and you just know she's being productive. She's not letting the too many distractions of the world deter her. Installed in me that I gotta go get it by any means. And I saw a
Hmm.
lot of my peers who didn't have that type of modeling from their parents about drive, about being able to push through boundaries, about it's going to be hard regardless. Just do the hard work and be able to enjoy a little bit, as you go along. Like I saw how that stifled them in their journey in life and in their careers. So, big ups to you. Like that's especially with boys, that's going to mean a lot more, even to how they select their partner. It's going to mean a
Hmm.
lot more to them than I'm sure you're even gonna be able to understand or see directly. So
Hmm.
kudos to that. So let me ask you this. So what? So how? I know we got 20 minutes, so we're gonna get through. It's all good. How did how did you end up encountering and coming across me before you reached out, or that caused you to decide to reach out to me? How did that come about? Because I don't really know where you came from.
um, Probably the algorithm on Facebook.
Shout out to the algorithm.
And
Shout
the
out to the
irony in that
algorithm.
is that I'm not on social media anymore. So there's that.
That's
So
cool.
again, kind of another setup, I think. But yeah, no, I honestly don't remember like specifically. I
Mhm.
do know that I started seeing posts from you, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting what this guy does. What?
What made you want to get into tech though? Like what triggered you to say, okay, this is something I need to like first your curiosity, like, oh, this is interesting, to then what point was like, okay, I need to get dead serious about making this transition over to tech, specifically cloud security, cybersecurity. What was that
Mhm.
for you?
I would say the life-changing opportunity, just to be able to have that flexibility, that freedom, build the generational wealth, kind of all of that,
Mm,
and then the mental challenge that I feel like it's there. I feel like I would probably, I don't know, maybe like equate it to something I know very familiar with, like healthcare. I feel like there's so many different facets that you can be involved in or interested in. And I feel like tech is very much the same. You could be tech sales, you could be more behind the
good.
scenes, you could do cybersecurity, cloud security, you could be an architect. There's so many different ways to get your foot in the door and just different things that you can be interested in. So I feel like the possibilities are literally limitless. Mm.
Awesome. Okay. So so tell folks a little bit about what was it like working with me? Like about some of our experience of like what did you get out of that whole thing? If were there any messages along the way that really stuck with you, or was there any type of particular training method that stuck with you? Like what do you think really was something that was concrete for you that resonated with you and you eventually helped you get over that finishing line to get that offer or to be able to even perform in your job functions now? Was there anything?
I would say that you were very raw and direct, and you
Wait a minute now. Hold on now. I'm just
and you're
marketing
not
material. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
you're not for the BS. And I think that that's what I needed. I mean it in a good way though. No, seriously, like I mean it in a good way because I tend to be on the more meek side. I don't
Mm,
really raise my voice. I don't get really
mm.
elevated or anything like that. And it's not to say that you do, but I know that you're passionate about what you do. And so that comes across. And honestly, it reminds me of how my dad is. where he's from the South. I think I shared this with you. He's from the South. He's very direct to the point. There's no excuses because of the time that he grew up in. It's like, what do you mean? You're actually gonna try to give me an excuse, and you think I'm gonna believe it? And I'm like, never mind. And so I appreciate that about my dad because he's never steered me wrong. And so I think that that's probably what I
Mr. Mr.
gravitated towards
Henry.
and yeah, for sure. And what I appreciated was just like, hey, if this is what you're telling me that you want, then you need to put in the work to get there. Like, and if you're giving me an excuse, then the excuse needs to be valid. And it's like, okay, well, I don't
Mm,
really have one. It's just that I'm tired. Okay, well, you're going to be tired, ma'am. Like, but that's not going to last for forever. You know what I mean? So really
for
just
sure.
having those honest conversations with me and just being like, it seems like it's hard right now, but I think also just having that faith and like this is the hardest you're ever going to have to work. Trust me. And I was like, I don't know. Like, this is the hardest you're ever going to have to work. Just trust me. And I'm like, okay, okay. That's what the
Yeah.
mentorship is supposed to be about. I'm not supposed to be trying to figure this out on my own because then what are you there for? So just
Mhm.
knowing that you already paved the way prior, just let me be able to have that trust. And the proof was kind of in the pudding because you work in the industry. So yeah, that's what it was. Hmm.
Let me ask you this: being that you've now gotten on that other side, how much of that is true?
Like 98% of it's true. Only 2% isn't because, like you mentioned in my intro, I'm that person who's still like, I gotta keep grinding, I gotta do more. Like, even though I'm here in this role, that could very much be snatched tomorrow. I could think I'm walking into a promotion and they're like, we're sorry, ma'am. And it's like, oh, shoot, I don't have a job here anymore. So, making sure that I'm constantly trying to upskill and learn more systems, learn more techniques, learn different queries, like all of that different stuff, do more projects, get more certifications just to keep myself ready. So I don't have to
Mhm.
get ready, when something happens.
And I think that's what, and I know for sure that's why you're going to continue to excel. Like that is that 2%. That's that 2% you just can't install in people. And I'm sure you're finding out and running into many others in the industry and even many of your peers, at your job, you find that okay, yeah, they know a lot of tech stuff, but their complacency could be their
Mhm.
downfall or has been their downfall. They've probably been doing it for too long in this position, you know so I'm glad you spoke to that. Let me ask you this. I want to get straight to the meat and potatoes. What so far? Oh, hold on. Before I get to that, hold on, because we gotta talk about how the jump happened, because that's an important gem in that. So we did everything. We did the resume. We did you did tech project after tech project. You
Mhm.
did interviews. And interviews that led to nowhere. Interviews that led to a rejection letter, etc. What was that? Tell us about that final round interview that you had before receiving your job offer. What you think got you over the edge to get that job offer, and what did that feel like?
Oh, so number one, I'd say it felt amazing, but that final round, oh, there's definitely a technical round. And
Hmm.
in my particular interview, it was kind of a choose your own adventure, which I don't really like because I'm like, well, is this the right answer or it's the wrong answer? And if you're now asking me questions, was it the wrong answer? I'm new here. Can I phone a friend? Is this like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something? I don't know. Um, but honestly, like what I was told, even after kind of like everything wrapped, because they knew I was new. I did not hide that on my resume. So they knew that I was brand new to the industry. They saw the tech
Mm,
experience and everything. They were literally taking a chance on somebody who had no experience. And I'm like, hi, I
mm,
want to be hired, please. It's like, ma'am, you don't have, okay, I mean, you have some projects, some certifications, but you don't have the actual like real world experience. So they were definitely taking a chance. But what I was told from now my direct manager was
mhm,
they were willing to take that chance because they saw that I was doing the work prior to even getting a job.
mm.
Um, Even so much so that when I actually looked at the job description, there were some systems I didn't know anything about. Like I didn't know Splunk, I didn't know CrowdStrike. But in the time of when I got my second to my third interview, I took two Udemy classes, one on Splunk and one on CrowdStrike, just so that I could speak to that when I got to my final interview and be like, oh yeah, I know that this is a theme and this is how it works, and this is how you would triage alerts. Like, and so showing that to them and showcasing that it was down to me and one other person. And
Mhm.
for them, they said that it was actually that stood out for them. That was like, you know
Wow.
what, you have that drive and the tenacity. And again, kind of like, that's just something that we can't teach. So we're going to take a chance on you because if you're willing to do all of that work before you even secure a role, then like, what more could you potentially do once you're actually here? So I know that people probably see that a lot on LinkedIn, like, oh, you need to document your projects, you need to be doing
Mhm.
certifications.
Mhm.
That is what I was told was kind of like the difference between me and the other person. So yeah, I would say it's definitely relevant.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because people need to hear that. They need to hear that it's not just redundant information. Like when you're following somebody and following the advice of whoever,
Mm,
and this is a blueprint you're committed to, you got to see it through until it eventually never works. But usually they're giving you advice that's going to pay off. And doing these certs and doing these projects, when that is the experience that you're building on your resume. And the fact of where it's may not be building, it's not like you're doing it for an actual organization, but it's showing the organization you have what it takes to come in, the aptitude to come in and do the work here. Because if you did all this on your own, imagine what you can do under their organization with their structure and their direction. And
mm,
they saw that, and I want a lot of newbies to really take that in. Like that's why you have to constantly do these projects. It's like being an athlete. You got to study, you got to constantly train at it and work at it, and send your tapes out, or until you get recruited. Somebody's going to see that potential. But if you're not prepared, if you don't do the project, you don't do the search, when these job opportunities come up and you have the opportunity to present yourself, but you have nothing to show, you did something that's vital. You didn't prepare for your opportunity,
right.
and but you're somebody. I used to always tell you, it's not a matter of if, it's just going to be a matter of when, because you
Mm,
were doing everything. And I know you, even from here, you're going to go even further. So that is great to hear that. Let me ask you this before we get into the hot seat. Let me see. So far in your tech career, both technical and non-technical, what has been the biggest lesson for you so far?
ooh, take the risk and take the chance, and bet on
Mm,
yourself.
mm,
Honestly, like I mean, I didn't say this, but I am slowly gaining that confidence, and imposter syndrome is very real.
mhm,
Being even the age that I am, even though, yes, I'm young, but I'm not even like I'm not as young as my peers are. So it's being
mhm,
able to have that humility and that grace in the space that I'm working in to be able to like take the constructive criticism from my peer who may be 10 years younger than me, but has been working in this role for 6 years. You know what I mean? And still being able to learn from them as a professional. So
mm,
definitely just having that humility, I would say, has
mm,
been huge for me in being able to grow,
mm,
staying curious, because
mm,
I just want to keep learning. There's so much to learn, and even now, 6 months in, I haven't seen this alert before. What even is this? Over there looking, querying and looking up something. Like I don't even know what this word is. That's a type of malware. Like what is? What
Hold
is
on,
that?
say
Are
that
you serious?
again. You do, when you don't know something, you do what?
You look it up.
Hello, come on now, come on now,
You
come on
literally
now.
look it up.
Put it
That's what
put it in the
happens
tip
at
jar.
work. Yeah, that's what happens at work. We are a team of professionals but still do not know everything. And if I reach out to someone else, they are literally telling me, well, did you look it up? I was like, where? On Google. Are you serious? Like, I can just do that. Like, there's not a special place. we don't always have all the answers. Just look it up, ma'am. Yeah, that's
Oh
wild to
my
me.
God. And that's why I try to tell folks like you think like there is a lot of weight because you don't know going it, but you don't know what it is like on this other side. You think that us engineers know it all and we're super cerebral. We keep all this information in our heads. No, we use Google all day, every day around the clock. Sometimes YouTube videos. We got to learn more
Mhm.
about it. You know, you might have some technical documentation somewhere internally, but we're researching all and resourcing all the time, and that's a pivotal piece. Is you have to become a resourceful person. You know, you have to be able to figure things out. And again, that speaks to those social skills you have of just being able to just, I'm gonna go figure it out.
Mhm.
And that's continuing, leading to your success. All right. So let me get into these, let me fire off these tech hot seats. Um,
Ah,
if y'all got a quick questions for Miss Henry, drop them in the box. We got 5 more minutes with her. Look, we got to do this again. That's we're gonna do this a one more time about when you're a year into your role, and I'm gonna promise I'm gonna show up early on time. Okay, early on time. All right.
okay.
Um. all right. Let's go. Tech hot seat. So how this works is essentially is um uh so how this works is essentially it's going to be deployed to prod or send it back to development. So I'm gonna ask you a
Mm.
question, and all you're going to say is like if you like it, if you're for it, you're going to go to say production. If you don't like it, you're not for it, you're not supporting it, we're going to send it back to dev. All right, we're going to
Okay.
shoot them out. It's called the being the tech director hot seat. Let's go. All right. So learning to code to become a cybersecurity engineer. All right, is that a go to production or is that a no to dev development?
Back to Deb.
Huh? Production?
No, no Deb.
Oh, dev.
Hmm.
Ah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay. Okay. All right. Joining an online tech community for networking and job leads. Is that to going to production or is going to dev?
Sending to prod.
There we go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right. Having a professional social skills is more important than having all the tech skills. Is that going to prod or is that going to dev?
Going to prod.
Let's go. Okay, let's cook. Let's cook. All right. Wearing a bonnet on camera to your daily stand-up call with the camera on. With the camera on. That's the key. Is this going to prod or is this going to dev?
That is going back to Dev.
Keep it professional, ladies. Keep it and fellas. Some of y'all wear bonnets too and do rags. All right. And this is kind of, I wanted to throw this in there. So what's the best representation of West Coast culture? Is it LA or is it Sacktown?
Ah.
Mm. Remember, you got family in both.
I do. Ugh, that's
Mm.
a hard one because I'm not from LA. I'm more inland. I will
Let's
go with.
see.
Can we just like scrap the whole project and start over?
Okay. So see, that's even. That's even. That's cool. Okay, let me see if we got one question for you before we drop off. Uh, that's awesome. No, definitely takes away some anxiety. Good. See, look at you inspiring folks. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all don't know, but Miss Henry is very funny, y'all. Do not let this calm demeanor fool y'all. Y'all, she got jokes for days. All right. Uh, let's see. Oh, timeline. That's the question. They want to know the timeline of how you went from starting your training, you could say boot camp or whatever,
Mm.
to getting the interview for this role and then getting the offer letter for this role.
So for this particular role, it was actually like a 3 month long process um, from the very beginning, and then well, from when I applied, and then to actually getting the offer letter. You and I, though, we've been working together for like 2 years. Um, I will say that it does not necessarily always take that long, but realistically, that was my timeline because I am a mom and
Mhm.
things come up with my kids, and that's my priority. So I was a little in, a little out, still focused, but honestly, like I just couldn't commit like 100% into
Mhm.
doing everything within like a 6 month to a year timeline. But if I were not a mom and like and no other priorities or anything like that, I think that reasonably like 6 months to a year that someone would be able to do their projects, start on things. But like I said, you and I have been like
Yeah.
working together for like 2 years though, and I like in and out, so I don't want to fool the people into being like, oh yeah, 3 months and you're in, because
Right.
like in that spreadsheet that you created for us to be
Yeah.
applying to jobs, I still applied to over 200 something jobs in 2 months though. So I
We
mean,
was pushing.
yeah, you put out all those applications and still you're not getting any responses, any replies, not even a rejection letter. Sometimes off the top you're disqualified. They're like, no, thank you.
It's
Yeah,
just
that alone,
automatic rejection.
right? That alone can sometimes take 6 months. You know what I mean? But still being active during that time while you're applying. But yeah, so mine was
If you
still
had
like two and a half years.
if you had to do it all over from scratch, knowing everything that you know now,
Mhm,
or even you had a mentee and they have the time and dedication, you see a lot of the potential in them, you see a lot of yourself in them.
mhm,
What would you do differently?
mm. Just keep my nose down, I guess. Honestly, like I think I was still a little active on social media at that time. I've almost been off of social media for 2 years now. I think it'd be
Mhm.
like 2 years in April or something. So, just kind of cutting out all of the distractions. And if you're tired, you know that it's temporary. Like just I know that people say it all the time, like, oh well, what's your why? What's your why? That's gotta keep you motivated. Sometimes the why is there, but you're still like, I just can't do today. I just can't.
Mm,
Or you get frustrated. Know that it's okay to take the break, step away, and come back and keep working on the project. You know what I mean? Like we had that one project and that hung me up for like a month and a half, and then come back
mm,
and look at the code, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing like a semicolon right there or something, and then push run, and the whole thing started working. But you and I were working on that for like a month and a half.
mm.
And if I just didn't keep looking at it with tired eyes and stop being so hard on myself, then I
Yes.
probably would have saved myself a
Yes.
month and a half. So
Yes.
I think someone else
Man.
had a question too.
Uh, maybe I think a
To
real Ariel. She's like, I'm late. Well, welcome to the club. Curious if there's particular related topic you highly recommend. Oh, learning in a SOC role or incident response role. Like, I guess she's getting to the point of asking, is there any particular projects that stand out that she should be focused on that will really project her forward and being prepared to be, show up for those, to get qualified for those roles in interviews and to be even
um,
qualified to, do the work in the actual field, anything ahead of time.
I actually think doing the honeypot lab from I know his name is Josh. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Matagor. You can find him on YouTube, but I think that honeypot lab was actually really good because it let me generate like the geolocation of where attacks were coming from. I did have to look in Active Directory and actually like set up different users and stuff like that. So you can speak to all of that. You're going to generate like a graph from that information. You're going to be looking at the security logs. And so all of that, like piecing all of that together. And then when you're trying to apply for a role, you're like, oh, I know how to look at logs. Oh, I know how to look at the IP addresses and see where these attacks are coming from. Is this unusual for this time of day? But also knowing how to configure your network to make sure that things aren't left open either, because the idea of the honeypot is to attract the traffic. So you're leaving the network wide open so that people are like, ooh, there's something new out here. But then you also know
Mm.
how to secure it. So it's like you broke it and now you fixed it. So you can speak to all of that just in that one lab alone. I think is like pretty powerful. So that's what that's what I would
But
recommend
speak like a
probably.
techie, girl. You better speak like a techie. That's what I get you. Oh my God. It's like watching your girl grow up. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. She knows all the terms. She knows how and that's the thing about projects. Like, even though you're doing one project, because you're touching so many third-party tools and native tooling, that you can easily check off multiple objectives on a job list because a lot of those requirements and everything was something that you touched, seen, or interacted with
Mhm.
inside one project. That's how powerful projects are and how it can pan out for you and helping you get those interviews. And especially, and as Miss Henry was alluding to, when you talk to these interviewers and these hiring managers, yeah, the technical stuff there, do the competency questions, but they love a good story. And they
Mhm.
love a story of a heroine or a hero who's in there taking, their own journey by the bullhorns and getting in there and figuring it out and being battling, getting through it. Because, as you know, when you get in the role, there's going to come times where you're going to come across difficult tasks. And do you have that wherewithal to battle through the difficult tasks, to sit there for hours trying to Google this out, look through bits, parts of code like that colon to see what's missing, you know,
Mhm.
uh, to see where you save that file, where that file is set. It's those intangibles are carry so much weight in your journey. That's why it's not best to skip those parts of the journey and try to hack your way into a role. Just do the work, have that patience, have that persistence, and do the work. You're getting a lot of love here. You're getting a lot of love. I know you got to go.
Thank you.
Um, People saying so. People going to definitely know where can they reach you at if they have any questions, if they want to be your mentee, you know, where can folks? We know you know on your social media hiatus hiatus. Yeah, I got a GDL, so I missed one.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, where can folks get in touch with you?
On LinkedIn, actually. Matt, I feel so old saying that. Like, oh, what kind of social media do you have? Is LinkedIn count? I'm just on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So folks, so folks, so folks can look you up on LinkedIn and send you a
Yeah.
message by your name.
Yeah, I'm here. So,
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, if y'all want to reach out to Miss Henry, she's there for you. Again, as I always say, when you approach these folks, especially at Come on Tech at Night, be respectful of their time. Come with exact questions. Don't be general. Come be exact because the better quality your questions, the better quality answers you get. And come offering something. Say, hey, Miss Henry, can I, give you a Starbucks card, or can I help you run? Can I run your LinkedIn from you, or make a post for you, or something? Like come contributing before you come to receive. That's just all a part of good networking. So, um, okay, we got some folks that's gonna reach out to you. Okay, okay. All right, Miss Henry. So, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you. I appreciate you for getting on tonight. Seriously, we're gonna do this
of
in a
course.
year. We're gonna do it, when you got a lot more time on your hands. Of course. I know you like if ever, but when you got more time on your hands, we're gonna do this again. Hopefully, we can get you sipping something next time. You drink.
No, I don't. I mean, I drink non-alcoholic beverages.
Oh
I
my
made a juice.
God, this is so West Coast of you. I don't get you. I guess. What's up with the cucumber water, liquid, non-alcoholic, non-acidic? Like what?
That's what this is, though. We
What?
got cucumber, pineapple. I put some aloe vera gel in here from my backyard, mind you. Aloe vera gel from the backyard. Some
Oh,
ginger and some
you
lemon.
good yourself. Oh my God, man. You're gonna
So
do tech
salute.
videos in the garden before it's all over with. I already know it. I already know it.
Probably because you've seen my post relating what I do to my
And I love it.
my
I love that you
to my
share it. I was
yard.
like, oh, here we go. All right, Miss Henry, I'm gonna holler at you. Everybody else, y'all stay on.
Okay.
We got more to talk about.
Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, y'all. That was Miss Henry, man. I appreciate the love. First off, y'all being polite to the guests. Y'all being interactive and involved. Look at Ariel talking about some saying. You put your finger in coconut water and everything. All right, but one of the things I just want to speak to it a little bit. One of the things that about Miss Henry that was also cool is that you know I kind of vet. I do give a lot of free advice. You don't always have to book a call with me. FYE, if I watch you long enough and I see that you're really serious, or if you have booked a call with me, I still will watch you a little bit, see how you're serious. Pitch me for advice or whatever. But she was one of those ones that I just watched, and she was just so consistent. I would give her a task to do. These are my favorite type of students, mentees to work with. When I give you a task to do, you come back to me after you completed the task. Now, sometimes it might come to me about roadblocks that get in the task. And if I don't know off the top of my head, because I don't know everything technically, but if I don't know off the top of my head, I might research it a little bit and I'll tell them, hey, go look into this, and I'll send them an article on it, you know, that might have the answer. Now, I try not to spoon feed the answers, but kind of lead you to get to the answer as you need. But she would always just go and do the task and then come back and say, I completed this, what's next? You know, or even sometimes it wasn't always clean. Like when me and Mr. Henry, we worked, it was some hard times, some hard days, days where I even felt bad because I'm like, man, I just want this girl to get her shot. Not more so, you know, because it's gonna, you know, be able to change her life in a multitude of ways, but because I knew with the industry needed her type of talent, a person who's just this sharp and and perseveres through. And she just needs our opportunity to show somebody that she can do great things, you know, on a technology side, you know. Um, and from there she can just mold everything together and lead projects on her own eventually. And so it's like she was one of the ones that stood out, and I saw always thought of her. So I would always send her messages. I would just even sometimes send her random quotes of encouragement, you know, because I knew what that journey was of just sitting back and you're doing everything right that you think is right and still not getting the result you need. I mean, not even getting interviews. There was a time period she wasn't even getting interviews. We did a blitz period. I did a small test group of a few students that I really liked. I want to do a huge push for them to get a job. I said, I'm gonna try to get you a job in it. We got to at least get you your first role within the next 2 to 3 months. And so it was her and another young lady actually. We all was in this group. And they both actually ended up in the next text roles, which is crazy. Not thinking about it, but we pushed them. I mean, I pushed them. I pushed them, baby. I pushed them. I had, and look, and I would help them. I would go find the jobs and I link them in these Excel sheet articles, whatever. Not articles, but link them in the Excel sheet columns, whatever. And I have the link to the job and they'll just like description. And they had to let me know by, you know, if they apply for it and then what was the response, X, Y, and Z, who's the recruiter name, da 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 da. Can't give away all my secrets. But but man, they blitzed and she pushed through. And it was times where she would go to interview, she started getting interviews. And then she got to the point and I was like, all right, now we cooking, the resume cooking. Because it's really hard when you have zero experience to get that all on your resume and get it to catch in the algorithm. Because we got to make sure your ATS and all the proper skills that recruiters are looking for these particular roles are there on your resume to get the hook, at least get their attention to get them on. Because I was like, I know if Miss Henry, if I can just get her on the phone with these recruiters, she can take the rest from there because she's really good at articulating herself, talking through problems, and she has a very compelling story. And so that's what we did, you know. And it's funny because, and it's one of the things I always say that I think gets overlooked too much, is I tell folks who are coming over from different industries and different fields, you don't have to make this huge trend migration to tech or to cloud tech in a way where you're working for a Google or like a FANG type company. You can make the transition inside of the actual company you're working for, because most companies y'all are working for, especially if you work in telemarketing, support, administrative jobs like she was, they have a tech side. If you're working on a computer, you're working on any kind of software, there's a tech side of that your company that supports you to be able to do your job functions using that software. And so, you know, she was actually just migrated over onto the tech side, you know, doing those things I told her about. And she got the opportunity. And she was telling me like one of the difference was she was telling the recruiters about she did the boot camp and about the project she was doing and da 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 da. And that was literally because she was neck and neck with her with the other candidate. And that's what pushed her over. I mean, I remember she would tell me like after rounds of interviews, the hiring managers was loving her so much that they was like, look, even if you don't get this role here, I'm offering mentorship to you. I want to help you do X, Y, and Z, even externally and internally. You know, and that again, that's the part of if you skip that part, you're gonna miss those golden gems that's gonna help you so boost you so far in your career beyond just your first role. You know, because it's networking isn't just, hey, my name's D'Amico Chambers. I'm at this tech conference meeting, got my backpack on, and I'm going to pass out my card. No, networking is building connections with people in all facets of this industry, whether it's doing interviews, whether it's at a conference, whether it's in a group chat somewhere, whether it's on your LinkedIn, making your LinkedIn post. Well, I made a contact the other day arguing with a guy on Twitter. Now we recruiter on Twitter. Now we're gonna go have cigars and bourbon, like but that's what it takes, and it's just crazy because I just remember the rejection. I remember how bad, and not even just the rejection in the interviews. I remember one time she would just be failing certifications. we done took a we done took a few certifications a few times, and just failing, and man, she had that dog in it. And when I saw her bounce back from the failures, I was like, whatever it's gonna take for me to help push you through, we're gonna get you through. And so, and she just, man, she did the work, man. So it's stories like hers that keep me motivated, that inspire me personally in my own career path. And I try to share with others so that they can be inspired by somebody else other than my own story, be inspired by other people's story as well. Because it's a lot of us out here that have great stories to show that can be examples. Your background, who you are, where you from, the way you talk, or whatever you're dealing with is not as much of a hindrance as your mindset. Once you make your mind up that you can do this and pull this off, then it's just acquiring the technical skills. And after acquiring the technical skills, it's literally just about being prepared for your opportunity. And your opportunity might not be tomorrow, the next month, but it's gonna come. And when it comes, just be ready. And that's what it's all about. That's why the constant training is all about. So before we get out of here, let me kind of go over some tech news topics I wanted to go over y'all with. If y'all had any matter of fact, if y'all have any questions for me, put your questions in the chat. I'm gonna do a quick Q&A. And while I talk about some of this tech news, should I do tech news? Yeah, I'm gonna do some tech news. Yeah, because I think these stuff is important too. All right, and I'm gonna do a thing I never did. I'm gonna share my screen. So let me see. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Present. Let's see. Share screen. There we go. Entire screen. All right, y'all. I don't know what y'all gonna see on here, but we gonna see something. All right. So, is this what the one I wanted to talk about? Hold on. Yeah. Is that one it? Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this real quick. So 40% of basically there was a poll that was taken where essentially 6,000 employees took this poll and said that 75% of them admitted to using AI tools at work, right? And 46% of them said that 46% said that they would not stop using these AI tools, right? So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So what's pivotal about that? Let me stop sharing. What's pivotal and cool about that is that you know we use AI tools at work. AI makes things a lot more easier, especially as engineers. However, you still have to have foundational knowledge because you can't, because AI is just wrong, quite a few times. And I'll be honest with you, like I've done whole projects through interacting using AI, but you can't rely on so the AI figuring things out for you because there's going to be somebody on the call that knows something more about a tech stack than you do, and they're going to be able to call you. They're going to ask you to go in depth, and because you don't have the knowledge of that you use the AI tool for, you're going to be lost for words, stumbling over yourself, feeling like, oh, they're going to fire me on this next call because I don't know. So it's like, yeah, use AI tools, but just use it with integrity, be smart, and never put company private information into an AI chat box. Just don't. All right. But yeah, I use it all the time for coding or for because I don't know all coding languages. So if I'm stuck on a particular part of a code, I might put it in the chat, or if I need clarity on a particular resource or tool, I'll use it as research, like I will with Google. It's simply just using the AI chat tool. But it's interesting that we get into this time period where, you know, most people, not most, but like 46% of employees are saying like, look, I ain't never let AI go. I don't care what my employer say. It's funny. I used to work with one guy and I used to be like, dang, how is he so good? It's like, a year. I ain't gonna tell you how long ago because he might be watching this, but some years ago anyway. And it's like, dang, how he know all this scripting language? Man, he know all this scripting code. Man, he's good at this. And I'm like, man, I remember we had a similar task to do, and the task I got is normally a task he would get. So I was like, I went to him, I was like, hey, how should I pull this together? How am I gonna pull this AWX file into the code? He was like, oh, just put it into AI. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, that's what I do all the time. I said, oh. So, then it worked, of course, but that's just like it's a tool. That's the thing. Get familiar with using AI, get familiar with prompting, get really good at it. It's going to be around. It's a great tool, especially a great administrative tool, but you can't lean on it for it to make up for the lack of knowledge you do have and being able to perform in your job function. Use it more so as a learning tool than anything, than doing your job for you or doing your task for you in totality. So that's what I got for that one. All right. I wanted to talk about this one too. Put your questions. If you got a question, put your question in the chat. If you got a question, put your question in the chat. Let's see what else we got here. Uh, yeah. So let me share my screen again. Can y'all see me when I share my screen? Because I can't see myself, of course. But yeah, I thought this was interesting. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so Gen Zers, no, Gen Zers quietly quitting. They're rejecting outdated leadership. Basically, go down to this part. Gen Z, yeah, yeah, blaming. Where's the part at? Yeah, older generations. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. My research includes shows that many have labeled quiet quitting as rational response to workplaces and lack fairness, structure, and alignment with employees' values. All right, this is the author talking about Gen Zs. Gen Zs disengage. They're done just tolerating bad leadership. All right. So and I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that that's something that's really common. I argue with not argue, but there's this recruiter I follow on Twitter who posts every day, and so some of the stuff that I'm not gonna say it's negative posting. Just some of his stuff is just I feel like he's out of touch with really touching the industry. I feel like a lot of people be out of touch with, especially recruiters, like they know the job side very well, but I don't think they interact enough in the business of the industry to really know the temperature of what employ with what how the industry's moving in a lot of ways. But anyway, I was arguing. I was telling him like because he was talking about the jobs or whatever. I was like, you got to think about it. These Gen Zs don't want to really work for nobody. Like they really don't. They want to. And if it's not a great condition or organized structure that they're walking into, which is being honest with you, that's most tech infrastructure. If you're not working for a big fame company, most companies that you're going to work for, they're going to be new to cloud, or have structure, have adequate structure, optimized structure up in the cloud, whatever. Like it's still all this stuff is still new, and so that it's not going to be the best work environment you're walking into. Some of these companies, this is their first time really having a cloud department, tech department, and so there's going to be a lot of lack of documentation, just a lot of sporadic stuff everywhere, and so it's not going to be ideal for a Gen Z who just is used to things being accessible, easily accessible, and these Gen Zs, are fine staying home with their parents, making a minimum wage to no job, and not having to climb the ladder of corporate success. So and I think a lot of the tech industry in particular has to that actually drives the value for millennials even more, in Gen X even more, because the younger generation just doesn't want to do the work a lot of the time, and it's hard to replenish that workforce, and if they do the work, a lot of them, they want the success and they want the instant gratification now because that's the period they grew up in. And so what I mean by that is they want the promotions now. They want to be directors and managers now. They don't want to have to wait 4, 5, 6 years till they get the opportunity. They will leave if that next promotion that coming around. They don't care if they've been there for 6 months, 4 months. They want to get that immediate promotion. If they don't, they out of there. So those are the two articles. Let me get to these questions because I know y'all got a lot. I'm gonna answer about 3, 4 questions and then we'll get out of here. What jobs are safe in information technology in this current economy, seeing that a lot of people with experience are being laid off? It's like we have this conversation every year, don't we? This laid off thing. Um, so here's the thing, and I say this, I'm gonna say this again, as I've said this always in the past. You always are at the risk of being laid off in every industry, especially in these past year and a half. There's no industry that's safe. Um, so if you're coming into the mindset in tech of thinking that, okay, I need to get a safe job that has a decent salary, and I'll just stay there in my little, role and position, and just not have to worry about the rest of the world, not have to worry about hustling, then you don't want to be in tech. You don't want to thrive in tech. You're not really going to take advantage of the potential out here because there's no job that's safe. Now, I think what you're getting at is which job has the most stability that doesn't require a you to hustle. For starters, it's not going to be a solutions architect. I know a lot of y'all get these solutions arch certs, which I don't agree with, but a lot of you all get these solutions arch certs that are overkill. That's a hustle role. If you're going to get a role that's not highly demanding, as far as highly demanding on you, then to be honest with you, the safest role you can get is a cloud support role and just stay there. That was my first actual cloud engineering role, and there's people that's been there for like 6 years, and that was like 7, 8 years ago. So that's really the only role that, and potentially not even, I want to say a TAM, a technical account manager, project manager. Those are usually safe roles that don't require a lot of technical input, just proper documentation and some good leadership skills. Um, so PM, TAMs, cloud support engineers, and the safest role you can be in is a role where you're highly skilled because you can go anywhere. And a lot of companies going to work really hard to keep you, even if they do got to do layoffs. You might be in the very last round, but somebody easily going to pick you up. It's not going to be difficult for you to find work elsewhere, as if you have the skills. So scaling up is your safest bet being in this field, meaning don't be afraid to have those terminal skills, dealing with Linux or dealing with uh, Windows programming language, CLI, etc. Don't be afraid to have developed those YAML skills, those Java skills, JavaScript, some Python skills. It's really you want to focus on skills that are highly in demand and have been in demand for a while. That's your only safe space in this industry. Being honest with you, So that would be my advice to that. Let me see. Yeah, we got a lot of y'all cracking tonight. I appreciate this. I love this type of engagement. Y'all must have missed me. We all know we got a lot of new faces too. Uh, let's see. 225 girl. What's happening, girl? I missed you, girl. You be commenting on my post on YouTube, so I really appreciate that. Let's see what you got. I gotta really answer your question. Let's see. I've done 3 cloud projects so far, which has been good for my confidence. Great. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I'm not sure if I should put cloud engineer in my LinkedIn profile. I feel like I'm not ready yet. Should I do it or wait? I would say do it because you never know what opportunities it will bring your way, and you never know what you're actually ready for until you get put in that position to perform. As Miss Henry talked about earlier on the show, you know, the hardest work she did, the hardest she worked was getting into her first tech role. But being in her first tech role is not as difficult as she imagined, and you're going to experience the same. Experience the same. It's a lot more lax. It's a lot more friendly to you learning things, figuring things out. Because we're all, as she said, no one knows everything. We use engineers use Google all day, YouTube all day to figure out and solve problems, AI tools all day. So it's great you have those 3 projects. I would say capitalize on that because having those 3 projects is relevant information now. I would say put the icing on top with the cert, have your certification, and start interviewing. Like get in there, get some grease in the game. The longer you sit outside and just be idle, playing with your mind, playing tricks on yourself, the, the further you get away from that confirmation that no, you've been ready, and you're gonna find out after doing, especially after doing 3 cloud projects, you've over prepared for this opportunity. So I would say you're more than ready. And yeah, you should put cloud engineer in your LinkedIn profile, not aspiring cloud engineer, not about to be a cloud engineer, not hope to be a cloud engineer. All right. And it'll even help if you put the cloud platform that you want to focus on working in. So uh okay. Okay, I'm in cloud services, but the pay isn't great. Yep, pivot to cloud security. Yep, that sounds about right. Yep, cloud services, cloud analyst roles. They are cloud adjacent roles, and it's great to have on your resume because it's proven work experience. But yeah, those are like the lower tier roles, and I can see why you want to go into cloud sec, um, security, because cloud security engineers bankroll. They bankroll, and it's funny when you talked about the hot seat with Miss Henry about learning the pro. Do you need to learn program language, or learn to code prior to starting your getting into cybersecurity? The security side, they just don't do a lot of coding. They don't, especially if they're defenders. They just don't. They do more just scalping through logs and running what is it called? Running scrums and running scripts to be able to see, I don't know, see the logs. It helps them scan through the log scans. That's the word I'm looking for. Run they do have a lot of scan tools that they use. So they don't. So yeah, that's a good move for you. I think if you want to go there, you should definitely go there. Get that cert. Get some more uh, um, security projects under your belt, especially those Azure that Miss Henry talked about, or AWS, whatever cloud you want to get in. And yeah, rock and roll. You already got the experience of being in cloud services, so you got the leg up. It's now just more so just being prepared for the opportunity. So good stuff, MB. All right, had to rotate the LinkedIn. Forgot how to show every single comment. People outside. All right, easy, easy. All right, let's see. Let's see. What else we got? We got any more questions? One more. I'm gonna got one more. I'm gonna answer one more question for y'all. Nice, easy. That's what I'm talking about. And it's funny. And I want to speak to this a little bit. I've spoken to it on post before, but I want to speak to it publicly on the lives on the show. I see so many people run into cybersecurity because it seems like it's going to be easy, less code intensive, and everything, and it seems like the money is going to be outstanding. And the reality is, in most cases, it's not. You know, in most cases, the money isn't something that's really going to change your life until you start interacting with the cloud. And it's funny because I ran into another SOC analyst at the gym. We talked about this, and she's trying to make her transition to cloud security. And the thing about it is, because of the lucrative opportunities that are in the cloud, it's the place you want to be if you really want to capitalize on your skills. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't care about money like that, or you don't care about, really climbing the ladder in your career, and you're not that ambitious or driven, which is fine. That's like most engineers. All they want to do is just do great engineer work, do great tech work, just have a steady job, steady schedule, live their life. Most of like are like that. But if you really want to like move and shake and be able to get into remote opportunities, or be able to work around the world in in different countries that require your talent, you want to get in the cloud. You just can't beat the agileness, the agility of it, the mobileness of it, and the lucrativeness of it. Because it's essentially, you're essentially a small core team responsible for an enterprise application that's generating millions or billions of dollars. So you're going to be compensated fairly well for keeping those apps running smoothly, safely, strongly, and even being able to sell them if you're in cloud sales. So go ahead, easy. Go ahead and teach them, girl. Go ahead and teach them in the chat the reality of the SOC analysts. I like that. I love when y'all teach each other, man. Be here for that's this is networking. This is networking. And look, y'all can friend each other after this, find each other after this. Boom. You just expanded your network. This is networking, interacting with those with common interests. All right, I'm gonna answer this last question from Skyline. Skyline, you new around here. You didn't even tell us what you're drinking. Easy, you ain't tell us what you're drinking either. I just realized that. Easy, what you sipping on? I've been giving you all these highlights all day. I don't even know what you're sipping on. And I always say, if you don't know a man or a woman's vice, do you really know them? You know what I'm saying? Can you trust them? All right. Um, Skyline said 2 years IT tech, 3 years net admin. Whew, networking skills. Okay, come through, come through. All right. Completed the AWS resume challenge project. Cool. Okay, that's standard. And just passed my cloud practitioner cert. Oh, you cook. You got some hot grease going on right now, boy. I don't know if you're a woman or a man, but you got some hot grease going on right now. All right. Is this a good position to begin applying? Or yes. You better not go after that AWS SA cert. So here's the thing about the solutions arc cert. Don't get that solutions arc cert until you're ready to become a cloud architect or solutions architect. And that means that you're ready to be a technical lead or leader on a team. And you can do two things. You can talk to C-level suite executives about technology that solves the customer front end problems. And you can talk to the back end team, the networking team, the dev team, the cloud engineers, the security people on how to implement those technical solutions. So don't go after the essay until you're ready because it does require hustle. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. It's a hustle job role, right? Because solutions are highly demanded, but it takes a lot of hustle. Like you got to be moving and shaking and kissing. It's a senior role, so don't go for it unless you got the time and unless you're really dedicated on really taking your career to that next upper level. Because after solutions architect, then there's no other place for you to grow into but a director role or leadership or even further up the executive tree. That's the top of the food chain. So um, I would say start with your what you have right now. Go do cloud networking. You're a network admin. I had a guy, a buddy of mine, really good buddy, actually. He actually helped me on a recent project I'm working on, but he started off, he's been a network admin for probably 6 years or so. And he was in my group, Black Cloud Engineers, B Cloud Engineers, on Facebook. And he's been watching me post content about getting in the cloud, getting in the cloud, getting in the cloud. And he eventually took my word for it. He went and got his solutions art certification for Azure and um, got a role immediately, like probably like 2, 3 months after. But again, he had a background in networking as a senior cloud network engineer. Boom. You know, so that's being prepared for your opportunities, and that's just how much this cloud stuff can really change the trajectory of your career. And that's what I would advise you as a network admin. Go do cloud networking so you can get those because you still need to understand the cloud environment, how it works. Like you still need to understand full scope of how VPC peering works. You need to understand full scope of how to set up a multi-cloud, on how on a hybrid setup works. You still need to get familiar with subnets and route tables and VPC endpoints, etc. So like and the business. You need to learn how does a business make money uh, um, due to the robustness of their cloud infrastructure. So hopefully that helps you, Scott. So, okay. Okay, you said you drinking. Okay. LaCroix carbonated water. Man, what is up with you? I'm the only one drinking tonight. Everybody's sober. Everybody's sober. I know everybody trying to get their slim fit bodies for the summer, but everybody's sober. Come on, y'all making me look like the drunk All right. I'm answering one more in the mouth. Can you do a quick rundown on programs you have going on? Oh yeah. And let me put this up too. Glad you asked that. There we go. Mhm. Uh, Hello, hello. All right. So if you go there, go to my link tree, B Cloud Engineers, or just go to bcloudengineers.com. But my link tree has, I think it's a little bit more accessible. Go to my link tree, and you have all my resources there. I have my right now. What I'm focused on is boot camp. Boot camp enrollment ends 3/21, and boot camp starts 4/1. Right. So April Fool's Day we starting class. Sorry, it's not going to be April Fool's because we really start boot camp on 4/1. But go to that link tree, sign up for enroll for boot camp. You got to qualify. I started qualifying this time because I want more quality students. I want people that coming in with the aptitude and attitude that I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I know my process works. All right. I have already proven track record of success. But now I want to just only focus on those who are ready, who I don't have to do as much personal mental coaching. I could just give you the technical skills you need, give you some guidance, help you along the way, and then boom, we get you to the success of migrating your career into the industry. So you do got to qualify for the boot camp. But yeah, go sign up for the boot camp. Also, I have my mentorship group. I started my mentorship group called Cloud Cloud Vanguard, the Cloud Vanguard. And essentially, what it is it's a Patreon. And I listen, I know a lot of y'all signed up for my Patreon for the free part. You got to sign up for the paid part to get all to see all the posts. Otherwise, you're not going to see no posts. But you're supposed to sign up to Patreon and become a paid member. That way you see all the posts. And guess what? When you sign up, not only do you see all the posts, you get a free one-on-one session with me. I mean, you can go directly and book me and pay for the one-on-one session in full, but why do that? You can just become a mentee. You can join a mentorship program because all I focus on in that mentorship group is providing you industry insights of what's going on. I got videos where I walk you through projects that are essential to you, why they're essential to you, and videos there where I talk about just industry news that you should be aware of. So it's my way of just gathering all my mentees in one place. And if you're enrolled in my boot camp, you'll also be automatically enrolled in my mentorship program plus outside of after boot camp is over with. So yeah, to go the Cloud Vanguard. All right, join that. Um, I made it very feasible for you. Become a paid member. Don't become a free member, and you get all the gems. Even some of the mentees in there who are paid members, they DM me questions. I answer questions for them. It's my way of just consolidating. Again, I'm trying to separate myself from really working and focusing on those who really need my help and really are ready to receive my help. Because as Miss Henry said, I can be tough. I'm no nonsense, straightforward, as cool as I am, and I crack jokes and all that. I really bust my butt and I really push you to bust your butt. So, join the Cloud Vanguard, sign up for that. And then last but not least, I have of course, my one-on-one calls. You can schedule one-on-one call. I just had a guy do a one-on-one call with me. Um, you can do that as well. But yeah, all that stuff is there. The YouTube channel is there. Everything's there. So subscribe to the YouTube too. But let's see if that's it. Yes. Start finding some good water. You dropping jobs in there too? Ooh, that's a good question. Should we start dropping jobs? Yeah, because what's funny? I drop jobs in my Facebook group, private Facebook group, Black Cloud Engineers, B Cloud Engineers, all the time. And yeah, I can definitely do the same for my mentees in the mentorship group. Yeah, I'll start dropping jobs. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. I'll drop the jobs. Now listen, I ain't guaranteeing getting you a job. Now then, listen, whatever you join for mine, it's no guarantee you're gonna get a job. All right. But I guarantee I'm gonna get you pretty damn close. I'll tell you that point. But yeah, I'm gonna start dropping jobs in there. Absolutely, because I come across like I really I do this stuff too much. Like I read the articles every day. I'm studying the material every day. I'm reading various posts every day, not just professional blog posts or whatever. I'm reading tweets every day. I'm in the algorithm. I'm only because I'm just a nerve for information, and I want to be as resourceful and useful to people as possible in this industry. And just as myself, as been an architect myself in this field, a senior architect, especially on this role I'm currently this contract I'm working on. I have to be abreast of these things. I have to be able to again, anticipate the needs of executives, and be able to implement at the same time. So let's go then, MB. Let go. I'm ready. I've been ready. Is you ready? Is the question. Is you ready? All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to sip a little bit, smoke a little bit more before I have to go in, you know, because the wife cooking dinner, you know. I'm gonna smoke a little bit out before that. But anyway, all right, y'all. Subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend. Again, you know how to reach us. You know how to reach me. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna do this again. It's been a while since I've been able to do this. I know. Usually, but if you follow the YouTube, I post shorts on here all the time. But I want to get back to doing more tech and nights. I'll be really free to start doing more tech and nights starting in April because that's when my HOA president. So that's when my term ends. So when my term ends, I'm free. What? Because I hate being president. Anyway, um, but yeah, so that's so I'll definitely so all summer we're gonna be doing more of these. I got a lot more cool engineers and folk in the industry to introduce y'all to. Stay tuned, man. We're gonna keep having a good time, baby. Hopefully y'all sip something with me next time. All right, remember you had what it took the entire time. Be great.